Perfect. Okay, so we will go ahead with introductions and then Geoff will kick us off. So thank you so much for joining and taking the time with us today. So I'm Olivia, so I manage vendor and alliances here at Amazic, and I have the absolute pleasure of being joined by Geoff from Portainer. So over the next 45-ish minutes, Geoff will walk you through all things Portainer, where the market's heading, and how you as partners can capitalize on these opportunities. So just before we get started, we will be having a Q&A at the end of the session. So if you have any questions that pop up, please add them to the Q&A box at the bottom of your Zoom doc, and we will endeavor to answer as many as possible. So with that, I'll hand over to Geoff, and we will get started.
Thanks, Liv, and good afternoon, everybody. I'll share my screen. As Olivia said, my name is Geoff Olliff. I run channels and partnerships here at Portainer. I know we have an international audience, some of whom English is not a first language. I'm a Kiwi from New Zealand, living and working out of Portugal, and I have been told that I speak quickly. So I will try and slow down my wonderful New Zealand accent so everybody can understand. As Liv says, we're going to spend the next 40 minutes talking a little bit about Portainer, but mostly about an opportunity that we believe is a very strong one for our partner community. I've spent most of my career in IT in the channel, so I know what it's like from your seat. I know what it's like when we have customers on one side and vendors on the other. So this presentation has been built with that in mind. Someone that knows the road that you're walking. I always like to frame a presentation like this with this quote. Many of you will have read Neuromancer by William Gibson, and he said this, that the future is here, it's just not evenly distributed. That is true of us and our businesses. It's even more true of our customers and the businesses that they're trying to run. They have many challenges. Some are taking advantage of opportunities and making significant progress. This presentation is designed to show you how you can help them take advantage of that uneven distribution. In order to make sense of what we're going to go through today, I wanted to begin with this framing. Some of you will be familiar with Portainer. We've been around a long time. We started life in 2016 as an open source project, and we're a powerful but easy to use container management platform. We fight it out with Red Hat OpenShift, VMware Tanzu, and Rancher. And we punch above our weight and we carry our share. Our open source project is in use by more than 1 million people on a monthly basis. And we're well into the thousands of paying customers. Our largest customers pay us almost $1 million a year. And our smallest customers pay us about 150. So you can see from that Portainer has become successful and popular. But this is not about a container management platform sell. This is about a problem that your customers have now. Because there is a live problem that AI is causing. And on the Portainer platform, we are able to introduce a powerful solution. Let me show you what I mean. I'm talking about AI-built apps. Some people call that vibe coding. It's gone from being a hobby to a genuinely useful tool that business people can use way away from IT to solve real problems. Using tools like Cursor and Claude or ChatGPT code to construct solutions to small things that annoy them. The evidence of this is everywhere. Gartner research, GitHub numbers. But the problem that it creates is profound. There's no ticket. There is no security control. There is no gate that defines what is good and what is bad. In short, IT has no process to deal with these apps. Often they need to be useful access to secure information. And that happens through the back door, a CSV export, a Zapier link, some other way that sort of goes around IT to make these applications work. All of this lands on the CIO's desk as a risk, a huge risk in today's environment, but it's happening faster than IT can react. The challenge and the tension in here is that these apps are genuinely useful. I've built a couple myself. I'm sure many of you have as well. They're little things that make my life easier, make me go faster, but IT would never build it for me. Just too small. So the challenge is, what does IT do with vibe-coded apps? And there are three typical responses that we've seen. The first is reminiscent of shadow IT of a few years ago. Cloud solutions coming in unauthorized. Let it run wild. They might have the right levels of access. They might not. They might be secure. They might not. But IT has no idea and is not controlling it. It's an answer. It's just not a particularly good one. The kind of default response that we see a lot of the time is to ban it. That's the CISO's standard response to most things. The problem is it doesn't make the problem go away. It just means that IT can no longer see it. These apps are still there, they're still useful, but they're running on laptops or in a small cloud account or somewhere else outside the view of IT. So IT become blindfolded and they haven't solved the problem. Of course, response 3 and the optimal response is to find a way for IT to give these apps a secured, governed home, a place to run inside the network where IT can have visibility and control, where the apps can connect to appropriate data sources, and all in all, the business can move faster. You know, that's the function of IT, to help the business move fast. The good news is that this is a service that you can deliver on the back of Portainer today. We have created extensions to Portainer which do exactly this. It gives your customers a place to deploy vibe-coded applications safely and securely. Rather than using a cloud service, the spend lands with you in accounts that you already own. This is not a prospecting motion initially. It's in your accounts today, not a new logo. It brings with it a comfortable service drag, and it's much easier than you might think. In terms of a competitive landscape for vibe coding solutions, there are two current approaches, and both of them have merits until they don't. Let me explain. In order to understand this, we've drawn from two Gartner Magic Quadrants. One is for the hosted solutions like Lovable, ServiceNow, Salesforce, Agentforce, Vibes. There's a mouthful. These are solutions that are directly aimed at business builders, at the vibe coding application builder, but they run in vendor-controlled environments. They run on the vendor's runtime. There's no real link between the vendor system and internal data sources. And certainly the apps can't migrate from the vendor into the IT environment to become a tier 1 or tier 2 app inside the organization. So there are some challenges, and we've put these in the top left-hand corner of this grid, vendor controlled, but aimed at business builders. In the bottom right-hand corner, we have another family of solutions identified by Gartner, and these have been around a while. Probably the most well-known one is Spotify's Backstage. And these are fantastic solutions for the dev or the DevOps world. They solve the problem of running inside the customer's infrastructure. They're portable in the sense that they can move between platforms owned by the customer, but they're super technical. They were never designed for a non-developer audience. Not in a million years would anyone I know in my marketing department like to engage with Backstage. So we have kind of an empty corner in the top right-hand corner, and that's where we have put Portainer Run. Portainer Run gives customers the opportunity to run vibe-coded applications in a secure environment inside their infrastructure. And it's not a new capability for partners. It simply puts a product around skills you already have and systems that you're already familiar with. We know that this is important. We've got both customer evidence inside our own customers, but the industry is increasingly talking about vibe-coded applications. The problem is not capability. Claude, Cursor, and those tools are not getting less capable, they're getting more capable. This problem is growing. The barrier is governance, process, and security. So we think it's a very timely conversation to have with customers. We think that there is a significant white space of opportunity, and we would warmly invite partners to join us on this journey. So we're going to fill that empty corner with a thing called Portainer, and everything else I'm going to talk about today is about Portainer. Let's do a little bit of basics here. Portainer is a container management platform. Portainer Business is our business version, as opposed to Portainer Community. And in this solution, Portainer Business comes in first. It's installed once. The rules are configured, not built. And the rules control access, security, governance, and every app that Portainer Run deploys inherits those rules. IT controls this end of the solution. It sets the policy once. Nothing is hand-rolled. Nothing is done manually. And the business builder in marketing or ops never sees Kubernetes, never sees YAML, never sees any infrastructure. It's simple for them, but it's governed by IT. And setting up this kind of thing is your kind of work. It's what partners do with us every day. It's infrastructure, it's platform, and it's not a year-long build. Portainer offers a single control plane for the whole container estate. It offers that control plane anywhere that applications need to be deployed. On-prem, in a customer-owned data center, in a cloud, in any cloud, multiple clouds at the same time, or right at the edge of the network. So the span of control for IT and Portainer is large, especially important through these conversations of data sovereignty, repatriation of workloads out of hyperscalers back into sovereign clouds, or even on-prem. Especially relevant for highly secure and air-gapped environments. So that's what Portainer brings out of the box. What it gives IT is control over who deploys what applications and where they go. IT get to use standard tools like GitHub and container vulnerability assessments, audit, to make sure that all of the applications are deployed and delivered where IT want them under IT standard policies, standard security frameworks, and standard security tooling. We've got a strong background in this stuff. Those of you who know us will recognize that we're used by some of the world's largest companies. And so the caliber of the control that we offer IT is substantial. We've made an extension to Portainer Business, and we call that extension Portainer Run. It's a self-service interface specifically designed for non-developer vibe coding people that live in the business outside IT. All that the vibe coder sees is Portainer Run, a simplified interface that enables them to take a file from Claude, drop it into a secure space defined by IT and then be delivered either a URL or an IP address to run that application. It means the application is available to them and their team. The application has the access that's defined by IT and has the security, audit, rollback, and other capabilities that IT need to have oversight. But there's no ticket. This is entirely self-serve. Once IT have set this up with your help, the Vibe coder is given controlled access and works independently. The solution is being adopted by a range of organizations as we speak, and the feedback is overwhelmingly positive. It is exactly what the market has asked for. Our design partner in this solution is a large American oil and gas organization, about 150 in the Fortune 500, and they're aiming to enable 17,000 business people to vibe code apps and deploy. This is a scale solution. And as such, it's your opportunity. Solving the problem means standing up and managing Portainer business on behalf of your customers. Traditional services offered by our partner network are assess, architect, implement, manage, current state, future state designs, capability assessments. You have your own services portfolio. We suggest that these are useful to deploy against this problem. The urgency of the problem and the debate around AI gives you the starting point for the sale. Your services practice drives the revenue, and our software is the anchor, not the objective. I've pulled apart an average deal of 30 nodes of Portainer, and this is how the numbers stack up over a 3-year managed service opportunity. The software is a small component of the 3-year margin. Implementation services of around $30,000 by the way. Apologies for the multiple currencies. This is simply the easiest currency to do these calcs in. Implementation services of around 30,000 allow for around a 6-week project, but your mileage will vary. Training, managing the environment to a reasonable degree of uptime, and expansion through the life of the contract. The point I would like to make in this averaged but real example is that the numbers are reasonable. This is not a margin sale for software. It's a services sale that starts with a software addressing a particular problem the CIO or the CISO has. It's not a 1-year enterprise conversation. It's a 1 quarter. You have a problem now. I have a solution. Let's try it. Let's implement it kind of process. I think there's a second order kicker here that is not immediately obvious. We can do a Portainer run sale. We can generate the numbers that I've talked about. But what the customer gets is additional value. They get full Portainer. They get Portainer business. They get the same tool that many Fortune 1000, many government departments are using all over the world now. It'll help with other issues like VMware exit, multi-cluster, multi-cloud management, the whole estate view of what's going on. So even though we've solved a problem using Portainer, which has been related to vibe-coded apps and the exploding deployment of non-dev solutions, what the customer ends up with and what the partner ends up with is a journey that can address a range of additional issues. So we've had a partner program for a number of years. I've had the pleasure of leading that initiative, and I'd like to talk a little bit about the program itself. Firstly, it's about momentum, not badges. We don't ask for volume commitments. We don't have tiers. We don't make it very complicated. Active partners, partners that are showing initiative, will get support. People that build pipeline will get resources. You don't operate alone. We have strong sales and technical enablement, and we want to make sure that that's acknowledged with simple certification. And that's provided at our cost, not yours. We need you to be hands-on with Portainer, so we offer a 30-node version of our software on a not for resale basis. Use it how you like. Run internal systems, do training, skill up your engineers. Just get your hands dirty with it. And bring us on your first deal. We've got great pre-sales guys. We've got executive support. We have sales support. So we're right there for you on your first deal. We would hope over time that you'll fly solo, but if you need help from us, we'll be there. And we think the risk is asymmetric. We're not asking for participation fees. We aren't asking for training fees. We want a champion, someone who knows, understands, and loves Portainer inside your business. We want you to complete enablement, sales and technical. Sales takes about 2 hours, technical a little longer. We want you to register deals. We want visibility with you on what's moving and what's stalled. And we ask for a short monthly Microsoft form-based report that talks about the conversations and the activity. We're not worried if people fall behind our business plans. We want to work with you through conversations, not reports. The corner of that quadrant that provides an on-prem solution based at non-technical people. There's no competition there at the moment, but it won't stay that way. The problem already exists. We are speaking to customers every day who resonate with this issue. So we would encourage those who are interested to make a move. We are seeing demand, and we are sure that you would see demand too. You may just need to ask a question. Is this something that you have a challenge with? Easy starting point. Have a look at your accounts. Ask the question or ask your reps if they've heard that this issue is a problem, and pick a friendly one. Bring it to Olivia and we'll work with that one first. So this conversation is about you, your business, and your accounts. Try it out. You don't become a partner in an hour, but you can make the first move to maybe solve some customer problems. I've condensed that for the sake of this thing called Zoom. We would love to have ongoing conversations. So feel free to either chat with Olivia, contact myself, but hopefully we will see you become a partner. Liv, that's what I've got. I think it was reasonably comprehensive, but I would never say there won't be questions. So I'm happy to pause at that point and take questions.
Thank you so much. Yes, there are questions. So I will start at the top. The first one for you, Geoff, is in general, who owns the budget? Is it tech, IT, CISO, business unit?
Yep, understood. This is a C-suite or a executive level sale. This is not taking something into engineering and saying, hey, try this new piece of code out. This is a problem solution. So the budget is likely to come from the CIO if they have a budget for this kind of thing, or more likely it's going to come out of the CISO's risk budget. So that's how we've seen it go at the moment.
Yep. Perfect.
Which accelerates the sale, to be honest.
Yeah, no, of course, absolutely. We have another one. So implementation service, is this done by Portainer?
We can. We prefer not to. We have a very small managed services team, and we have some managed service customers. And when I say a small number, you would be surprised how small. And we don't ever intend to be either a managed services business, we're a product business, and we certainly don't like competing with channel. Again, I've been there. So our team can assist, our team can take the first customer and show your teams how to do it, or you can sell our services as an implementation service and take a margin on it. But again, the movement of our business is to drive managed services into the channel and to equip the channel to deliver these services.
Yep, wonderful. Thank you. Nicely following on from that, renewals margin. So does the partner keep earning when it comes to renewal?
Yeah, and we tend to split that. If there is active sales effort going on, if there is expansion going on, then full margins apply. If it's a routine transaction only, then reduced margins apply. But there is always something. Once the partner owns a customer, we step back from the transactional relationship and we acknowledge that partners need remuneration when they're involved in transactions. So
Yeah, no, perfect. Of course. Thank you. Are there costs involved with certifications?
no costs involved. Um, we are still um, of the view that enablement is a service that we wish to provide our channel. Yep. We're moving increasingly to self-timed and self-paced for both technical and sales training. The downside of that is that it's not done as well, it's not done as often, it's not completed,
Yeah,
but it gives channel partners the opportunity to do that enablement in their own time, and there is no cost.
wonderful. Okay, we're down to the final two questions. So I know that you touched on air gap solutions. So Portainer does not necessarily need to be run in the cloud. Can you expand on how that works in OT environments,
Sure,
etc.?
sure. Look, and this is a great question because I didn't quite make it clear. Portainer is an on-prem solution, and when I say on-prem, what I really mean is in customer environment. Portainer is downloaded by the customer. The license key is delivered after the transaction's completed, and the software runs wherever the customer needs the software to run. It can span into the cloud. It can combine cloud and on-prem environments. But for many of our customers, they don't wish to have their production environments connected to the internet at all. So we call those air-gapped, and Portainer can run inside those environments really easily. In fact, it's one of the best solutions to do exactly that. That's why we have some success in ultra secure and ultra sovereign environments. Um, Portainer Run is simply an extension built into Portainer, and therefore Portainer runs on exactly the same basis.
No,
I
wonderful.
hope that's made it a bit clearer.
No, yes, it has. Absolutely. Thank you. Um, if AI apps are built insecure, what does a governed home actually enforce?
Yeah, this is a really important question, and the, dropping into a little bit more detail for a second. The way Portainer Run works is that it gathers the code that's been generated. It understands what that code is, whether it's a Python script or some other coding element, and then it uploads that code to GitHub or the customer's Git repository of choice. Once it's in GitHub, then the standard tools for assessing code come into play. GitHub has a range of tools, and the customer will have chosen some of them. Some of them are automatic, some of them are premium, but they'll do things like scan for exposed secrets. They'll scan for code vulnerabilities in libraries. So all of that scanning happens in GitHub. Portainer will then call the code from GitHub and deploy it on a Git schedule. And that Git schedule is determined by IT at setup time. Any vulnerability scanning that the customer wants to implement can be implemented as part of the standard policies that are set up when Portainer is set up. So what we've enabled here is the customer's standard security processes and protocols to be implemented automatically and consistently across all AI generated applications. I'm sounding enthusiastic because I think it's a really elegant solution.
No, that's great. Perfect. Thank you. We have another question, which is, are the tech certifications online, and do we get prioritization with help during implementation when needed?
The tech certifications are currently online in beta form. We've been doing the tech certifications instructor led for the last 18 months or so. About 2 months ago, we moved those to online. We do them with hand holding if required. And we also encourage partners to deploy a test environment using the not for resale license and run through an academy that we have for tech enablement. It's called academy.portainer.io. Um, these things are all shifting because AI is having a huge impact inside our business as well as inside customers. So a lot of our tech enablement is moving to a Claude skill, or a skill, I should say, across whatever AI platform you wish to use. And it's likely that in the future, that will take precedence over things like the Academy. So short answer, at the moment, online, hand-holding available, NFR license, and guided tuition on the NFR license is our standard approach.
Perfect. Thank you. So that was all of our questions. So I think for all of the partners that have joined today, we are very grateful that you've taken the time, and whether you're watching live or on a recording, we hope you have a wonderful rest of the day. Once you speak to your customers, get in touch, send me an email, and we'll get the opportunity rolling. And obviously, Geoff is there to support you every step of the way.
100% agree. Thanks so much, everyone, for your time. And thanks, Olivia, for setting this up.
No worries. Right. Speak to you all soon. Bye now.